Hey, it's me, Maggie J. Today with a recap of episode 2 and 3 of The Courtship, along with a great big update about the rest of the season. I was going to start with the episode recap, but let me just tell you the news regarding this show, and then we'll do the recaps. I didn't realize until I sat down to write this that episode 3 would go live in 2 nights, and I likely would not be filming this before then, so I figured I would knock it all out in one video. Anyway, long story longer, I watched episode 2 when it came out, and I wasn't sure if it was enough to make a whole video about. Plus, I was in the middle of a week-long Amazing Race marathon, and I was not doing anything but that last week. So I was going to wait for episode 3 to come out and do a 2-in-1, but when I sat down to watch episode 3, it wasn't there. Not even a few hours later when I checked Peacock again. So I opened up another tab and was like, what happened to The Courtship? Imagine my shock when I learned NBC had booted this title right off their network and forced it to find a new home over on USA. They claim it was due to lack of viewers, which makes sense. The show isn't really trashy enough to bring in the audiences that are looking for the train wreck element of most network reality dating shows. And like I said in my recap of episode 1, if Nicole is any good at choosing a partner, the show is not going to be that crazy. And I think it's kind of shaping up to be like that. But that's not really Nicole's fault or even the guy's fault. It's the nature of the show. The point of the game here is to live like it's Regency era. If you're a jerk, if you say the wrong thing, if you do the wrong thing, if you fall off of or can't mount your horse, if you fail at truffle hunting or use the wrong fork at dinner, or any number of things that the lady or her court might not like, your value goes down and affects how long you're going to be here, which is not exactly the way most group dating shows go. It seems like the more drama someone can cause or the more they can stir the pot when the main character isn't looking, the longer they get to stay around causing problems for everybody else. Whether that's producer-induced antics keeping the show spicy, or if being a literal psychopath is actually endearing, I don't know. But either way, the show will now be on USA Network on Wednesday nights after Temptation Island, which is probably a better spot for it. Peacock had it available first thing on Thursday morning, and I was trying to get this video out by Saturday, but my filming yesterday went terribly, and it just never came back together. So here I am Saturday morning trying to film this again. I hope it turns out better this time. Now that all of that is out of the way, let's talk about episode 2. By the way, I have a whole recap of episode 1 on my channel if you're looking for how all this got started. Okay, so obviously the court and the lady are kept separate from each other. Like the family stays in the castle and the 13 dudes are in a different, smaller building on the property. So when we open this episode, we're seeing how they're all getting accustomed to life in the Regency era. Mr. Combs is enjoying giving up his social media for a bit, but he really wants some Arby's. Mr. Safa seems to be having show-off withdrawals. Like, he can't stop talking about how tall he is in comparison to the other guys. It's almost like he has to be better at something than someone else, otherwise he just can't live with himself. But the Remy family is at the castle enjoying themselves, having tea and scrumpets and being so sophisticated. I'm a little jealous. I wish someone would bring me snacks and drinks on command. They'd have to roll me around afterward too, though. Then a newsletter is delivered. I'm trying really hard not to compare this show to that Netflix show that's also about courtship in the Regency era, but it's just like that, with the newsletters being hand-delivered every day. I love it. This one informs everyone they'll be spending a day at the lake, and the guys will have a chance to show off their rowing skills by transporting the entire court across the pond by canoe. Mr. Safa and Mr. Kim escort the parents, and Mr. Safa, for some reason, strips off his shirt and rows topless for her parents. Some other dudes pick up Tessa and Miss Baker. They're not really shown too much in this episode. Mr. Bocciccio and Mr. Sanklin are lucky enough to ferry Miss Nicole across the water, but these 3 guys are left without anyone to carry at all. Mr. Combs, Mr. Chapman, and Mr. Holland quickly make up for their loneliness by standing to serenade the lady with "Row, row, row your boat." And, of course, the singing suitor, Mr. Sanklin, just can't help from showing up their amateur display with his own warbly rendition. Nicole is very annoyed by his singing interruptions and brings it up in her confessional. Is that all you got, bro? It was old after the second time. Knock it off. Anyway, the guys jump into the water to cap off their performance, and everybody is confused. They swim to the dock and help Nicole out of her boat, which I thought put them in a good light, despite them obviously freezing throughout this entire transition. And then the day beside the lake begins. Is this a lake or a pond? I don't know. It's not a moat, but the water is freezing and the weather is not sunny. Sounds just like Britain. So they all spend their day talking with the different members of the court and Miss Nicole herself. Some of them open up about some touching situations they've been through, and others try to highlight their best features or goals while chatting it up. This episode doesn't really give Miss Baker or Tessa the friend much coverage, and I'm wondering if there's a reason. Like in episode 1, everyone except for Tessa got a little introduction piece with their name on the screen and some details about themselves, and not even once have they cut to Tessa in a confession style setting. They only show her speaking if it's to the other members of court, except for the 2 times Mr. Safa has made eyes at her. And again here at the picnic, he's trying to offer her a blanket or something. She is not what you're here for, bro. Anyway, I am wondering if she is maybe duller than a butter knife, or perhaps backed out of being on screen so much after filming was over. I just don't understand why she's not being treated like the other members of court. I do enjoy the interactions between the suitors and the parents, though. I feel the parents are very genuine in trying to suss out who has the right qualities and personality that would complement Nicole the best. And the dad is great at tossing out almost impossible to answer questions like, what about my daughter makes you think you two would be a long-lasting match? What? Mr. Mumbrae is the guy Mr. Remy asked this question to, and I know in my soul, Mr. Mumbrae, I've never had a serious girlfriend before. He is going to need to go through at least 2 to 5 relationships before I think he'll be ready to be anyone's husband. That's just facts. Mr. Hunter makes quite an impression on the parents, though, and I think it's because of his age and his future intentions. He is a little bit older than Nicole and has done a number of interesting things in his life, and his next goal is to find a wife and start his family, which seems to be right where Nicole is at as well. Plus, he is really good looking, so that does not hurt. Throughout her day with the guys, Nicole mentions Mr. Coleman specifically that she's attracted to. She and Mr. Combs share a sweet dance that Mr. Edwards doesn't seem to like, but I think is sweet as hell. Nobody else danced with her, and what are these musicians doing over here if not to provide entertainment? While she and Mr. Banks are having a moment by the champagne table, someone from under the tent throws something at them, and it lands in this big candle holder thing, which I think is a dickhead move. That thing could have hit almost anywhere and bounced right into someone's eye. And that's not just me being a mom about this. I have done shit like this before, and I have hit someone right in the face with whatever I've thrown. I have knocked a plate out of someone's hand and made a kid trip and fall. So I'm speaking from experience when I say, don't throw shit. You're an adult. I'm pretty sure Mr. Chapman is the one who threw it, so I'm not really happy with him right now. Then Mr. King makes her cry, but in a good way, I think. They already have an island connection, being that he is from the same island as her father, so that is a nice cultural layer that she is into. He tells her about his mother and how important she was to him and his brother, and how she raised them all on her own, and she was always so strong and unstoppable. But she's recently died, and his brother shortly after her, and that was only 2 months before he came on the show, so it's very touching and sad. Mr. King gives me the impression that he is not 100% ready to start a deep relationship, though. He is sad and lonely, and I'm sure he would love to have someone by his side to help him through his grief. But losing so much so recently, and being the age that he is, I just don't think that he's ready to become a husband when he doesn't know how to be a man on his own without the presence of his mother and brother. He's going to need time to heal and to grow and become the man that he will be without them. And then he might be ready to offer himself to someone else. But that is the end of the day at the lakeside. That afternoon, Mr. Hunter receives a letter from Mr. and Mrs. Remy inviting him on a date with Miss Nicole. Mr. Kim is not happy about this, and I feel like he's getting a little bit frustrated with this process because he finds no reason why he shouldn't be getting extra attention from Nicole or going on these private dates. But I don't think that he's really showing anything interesting about himself or his personality that would warrant anyone wanting to spend alone time with him. All anyone knows about him is that he was in the Air Force for a while, and when he was away, the girl he thought was his girlfriend got back together with an ex of hers, and he found out about it through a Facebook relationship update. Rude. But hold on. I want to be real judgy about this guy for a minute. Captain Kim says that he was with his girlfriend that he has known since 5th grade. While he was away for basic training when he was 18, she got back with an ex-boyfriend of hers. Obviously, this can't be his girlfriend since 5th grade. What, are you going to get back with your 4th grade boyfriend? Weird. And he never specifies when exactly they got together. I'm a little suspicious about that. Like, how long did this relationship last? And was it actually a serious relationship, or was he just so in love with this girl that when they were spending more time together before he left for basic, he thought it meant more than it did? He doesn't mention any other relationships that he has had, and he spent like 6 years in service. And you know how healthy military relationships are. They're either sandcastles or forged steel. More of the former than the latter. And now he does confidence and relationship coaching, which kind of makes me wonder how qualified he is to do this, and makes me feel he's a bit bitter towards women. Like, he's probably not running a full MGTOW Reddit board, but give him a few more failed relationships and watch out for Captain Kim's daily post about how women ain't worth the time nor the money they expect from you. But that's just my analysis, though. Feel free to tell me if I'm way off base here or if you're picking up on that vibe as well. Anyway, during their date, Nicole and Mr. Hunter wander around this castle looking at all the paintings and sculptures and decorations and such, and, you know, having a little chit-chat, getting to know each other. It is super sweet and adorable, of course. Then it gets risque. She shows him her bedroom, which is a tray taboo for this time period here, but she can quit being Regency anytime she wants, or however Nicole said it. Oh, have I had a booger in my eye this whole time? Oh, wonderful. Okay. Not filming again. We're just going to go with it. All right. They cuddle up on this little sofa here and share a sweet kiss. It's lovely. Meanwhile, back at the suitors pad, the guys are playing billiards and discussing whether Mr. Hunter being chosen by her parents is something significant or nah. Someone wonders if Mr. Hunter will get the first kiss, which means Mr. Bocciccio did not tell them he and Nicole kissed during their first solo date on the first night, and he doesn't tell them now when it's like actually the topic of conversation, which, thumbs up, bro. He's not like being a braggart or using this as some sort of chip to put him above the other guys, and I like that. And I feel very shallow saying that. It should just be standard, right? Oh, okay, I take it back. Just as I expected you to be, Mr. Bocciccio. And now it is time for elimination. Her choices this week include Mr. Cones, Mr. Kim, Mr. Mumbre, Mr. Lux, and Mr. Kessler. I am shocked to see Mr. Cones here, because number one, he's my favorite. And number two, I didn't see that he had done anything to get him to this position. But during their dance, Nicole tells him the only reason he's here is because she wanted to spend more time with him. Oh, you sneaky sneak, Nicole. But that is how I would go about these eliminations. Sometimes I am an opportunist. In the end, Mr. Lux and Mr. Kessler are the ones who are eliminated, probably because they just seem so interchangeable. I don't think there's anything specifically these guys did wrong or is wrong with them. You just can't have sparks with every person that you meet. I'm sure their chances would be better if there weren't 15 other guys trying to steal a lady away, but best of luck out there, guys. Now, let's move on to episode 3. We start this one off in bed. Miss Baker and Tessa join Nicole in her bed while they read the Daily Tea, and we learn they're all going to be playing cricket on the lawn today. Nicole and Miss Baker are in charge of picking teams. I hate to keep calling her Miss Baker, but I have completely forgotten her name, and nobody ever says it, so she is Miss Baker for the rest of my life. Anyway, they pick teams, and when Nicole picks Mr. Bocciccio, he walks straight up to her and kisses her on the lips right in front of everybody. And yes, it is a big scandal amongst the suitors. I think mostly because they feel they couldn't or shouldn't do that. So according to them, he is way out of line by being so forward in front of everyone. During the game, Nicole wanders around and talks with the guys. A bunch of them seem to be having problems running in their spiffy leather boots, so that's kind of entertaining. While this match is going on, Miss Baker and Nicole have a little sit down and have some lemonade, and notice that Mr. Safa is getting awful chatty with Miss Tessa all alone on this bench. Told you before, I don't trust this guy, and I'm definitely not around this chick. No offense, Tessa. She is young and pretty, and he is a predator. He tells her, it's been a while since I've had some one-on-one time with an attractive young person. And that Nicole isn't really his type. He prefers blondes. Tessa asks him a few questions about his interactions with Nicole, and it's obvious he's just not that into her. Later, the guys grill him about all the time that he spent with Tessa, and he admits to them he is into her. So now he's vying for both chicks. Okay, more on that later. During this game, Mr. Mumbre, the only proper English gentleman, hits 2 slammers and plucks the ball from the air to get Miss Baker out, and is later awarded MVP for his efforts. Captain Kim shows Nicole a different, lighter side of him, and they have a nice exchange on the field. Mr. Chapman sheds his boots and vest and gets way too invested in this game to give Nicole any one-on-one time, so that's strike 1. During this episode, we also learn that this man has been living in his van for the last 2 years, which is no offense to van dwellers. I would love to live in a van one day, but I'm not trying to pick up a wife out here with no permanent address or long-term career options. He's a model, living in a van, traveling to wherever the outdoors are. I don't know what that says to you, but to me, it doesn't say husband material. It screams flaky as fuck. Also, I don't think this guy is very smart. Nicole has thrown a couple of questions his way, possibly in hopes that he would show her a little bit of a different side of him, and each time he has not really been able to respond with much. Being good looking is nice, but if you can't keep up intellectually with someone who is a computer coder, all that beauty is going to fade real fast. Plus, he threw stuff at Nicole and Mr. Banks by the lake. Strike 2. After all this cricket hubbub, Nicole, Miss Baker, and Tessa sit down to compare notes. Tessa wastes no time spilling the beans about Mr. Safa. And look at this psycho smile Nicole gets. You are so gone, bro. You don't even know you signed your own walking papers. What a dumbass. Mr. Holland was invited on the one-on-one date with Nicole. They both wore red riding cloaks and rode these horses to a picnic next to this little chapel-looking place. This is the perfect setting for him to let her know he has a 1-year-old daughter, and Nicole is not fazed. She says she could envision herself fitting into that. Then they dance and kiss, and he carries her away, and it's all very picturesque and romantic. Nicole is thrilled. And now it's time for elimination. Her choices for tonight are Mr. Chapman, Mr. Shanklin, Mr. King, Mr. Safa, and Mr. Castronovo. Of course, Mr. Safa is the first one to be sent home. She doesn't even bother to dance with him. She calls him out for what he said to Tessa, tells him she sent home someone last week who had real feelings for her because he had impressed her parents, so she is pissed that she kept him. She dismisses him, and on the way out, he goes to say his goodbye and approaches Tessa like he's trying to get her number or something. I am shocked that this guy doesn't need a wheelbarrow to carry around his enormous balls. Nicole dismisses him again, and Miss Baker leads him right on out. Yes, girl. Then he tears up a little while giving his exit speech. I never belittle a man's tears, but after what he said and what he did, he wants to be sad about going home? No, sir. You're embarrassed your plan didn't work out, and you got rejected. Goodbye, dickhead. The rest of this elimination carries on like usual, until the end when everyone has had their turn to dance, and Nicole has sent them all upstairs except for Mr. King. Usually it's 2 suitors she has to choose from, so it's pretty obvious he's just going home, and it makes everyone cry, because they know why. Because of what I was saying earlier, about him being still in his grieving period and needing time to heal and grow before he'll be ready to be someone's husband, which is a really sad reason to say goodbye. Nicole and the court bawl their eyes out, and Mr. King eventually heads to the carriage, and everyone thinks it's the end of the ceremony. Except it's not! there's a knock on the door and 2 brand new suitors are standing on the other side. And that's the end of the episode. The previews for the next show look pretty scandalous with a ton of kissing going on and all the suitors being big mad about the way the new suitors are behaving. It looks like it's going to be ripe with hypocrisy and machismo. I don't know if I'm going to do 1 video per episode for the rest of this. I'm incredibly lazy and I like to do longer videos. So maybe just subscribe and check back later on. Also, if you could like this video, that would be a great big help. So maybe some other people could see it as well. Awesome. Anyway, that is all that I have to say about this. Thank you so much for watching. I hope the rest of your day will be amazing. I hope you find $10 that you forgot about. And until next time, y'all stay safe out there.